The wind howled through the skeletal trees, carrying the bitter chill of a late autumn night, as Emma crouched in the dirt behind a splintered wooden fence. Her trembling hands clawed at the frozen ground, unearthing a half-rotted potato, her first find in hours. Beside her, bundled in a threadbare blanket, her 6-month-old daughter, Lily, whimpered softly, her tiny breaths puffing out in faint clouds. Emma's heart shattered with each cry, a mother's desperation clawing at her chest. She hadn't eaten in 2 days, and Lily's last bottle of formula had run dry that morning. The world had turned its back on them, but Emma refused to give up. She whispered, "We'll be okay, sweet girl," her voice cracking as tears stung her eyes. Little did she know, someone was watching from the shadows of the house beyond the fence. Jacob stood at his kitchen window, a steaming mug of coffee forgotten in his hand. The motion sensor light had flickered on, illuminating a figure in his backyard, a young woman, gaunt and shivering, digging through the compost pile he'd neglected for weeks. Her movements were frantic yet tender, her focus shifting to the bundle beside her. A baby. Jacob's breath caught. He was a solitary man, a 38-year-old carpenter who'd built a quiet life in this small Nebraska town after losing his parents to a car accident 5 years prior. The grief had carved a hollow in him, one he'd filled with work and routine. But now, something stirred, a pull he couldn't name. He set the mug down, grabbed his coat, and stepped into the night. Emma froze as footsteps crunched closer, her pulse racing. She scooped Lily into her arms, ready to bolt, when a deep, gentle voice broke through the darkness. "Hey, wait. I'm not gonna hurt you." She turned, clutching Lily tighter, and saw a man tall, broad-shouldered, with kind hazel eyes and a scruffy beard. His hands were raised, palms open, a gesture of peace. "You're hungry, aren't you?" he asked, his gaze flickering to the potato in her hand. Shame burned her cheeks, but she nodded, too exhausted to lie. He knelt at a safe distance, his voice soft. "I'm Jacob. This is my place. You don't have to dig for scraps. Come inside, both of you. I've got food, warmth." Emma hesitated, fear warring with hunger, but Lily's weak cry decided for her. She followed him, wary but desperate. Inside, the house smelled of wood and cinnamon, a stark contrast to the alleys and shelters Emma had known since losing her job in apartments 6 months ago. Jacob heated soup and warmed milk for Lily, watching silently as Emma fed her daughter with trembling hands. Over the next hour, her story spilled out, how she'd been a waitress, how her landlord evicted her after the restaurant closed, how Lily's father vanished before she was born. Jacob listened, his heart aching. He saw resilience in her tired blue eyes, love in the way she cradled Lily. As the clock struck midnight, he made a decision that surprised even himself. "Will you stay and marry me?" he blurted, his face flushing. Emma stared, stunned. "You don't even know me," she whispered. Jacob shrugged, a shy smile breaking through. "I know you're strong. I know you love her. And I've got room here, and in my life. Let me help you both." Emma's mind reeled. Stay? Marry? This man was a stranger, yet his offer held a lifeline she'd never dreamed of. But trust was a luxury she'd lost long ago. I need time," she stammered. Jacob nodded. "Take all the time you want. Stay here tonight, at least. There's a guest room." She agreed, and for the first time in months, Emma and Lily slept in a warm bed, safe from the wind. The days that followed were a fragile dance. Jacob gave them space, cooking meals, fixing a crib from spare wood, and asking nothing in return. Emma watched him, his quiet strength, the way he hummed while sanding furniture, the gentle way he cooed at Lily. But challenges loomed. Emma's pride stung, she hated relying on charity. She'd wake in a panic, haunted by memories of betrayal, fearing Jacob's kindness was a trap. One night, she snapped, "Why are you doing this? What do you want?" Jacob paused, a sandpaper block in hand. "I was alone too, Emma. Lost everything when my folks died. I see you fighting for Lily, and it makes me want to fight for something again. For you both." His honesty disarmed her, but doubt lingered. Another hurdle came when the town noticed. Whispers spread to gossip about the homeless girl and the crazy carpenter who took her in. A neighbor, Mrs. Caldwell, cornered Jacob at the hardware store. "You're foolish, inviting trouble into your home," she hissed. Jacob squared his shoulders. "She's not trouble. She's a mother doing her best." The judgment stung, but he stood firm, and slowly, Emma began to trust. She started helping cleaning, cooking, even planting a small garden behind the fence where she'd once dug for scraps. Lily's giggles filled the house, a sound that warmed Jacob's soul. Weeks turned to months, and love grew quietly. Emma admired Jacob's patience, his calloused hands that built a life for them. Jacob marveled at Emma's courage, her fierce devotion to Lily. But a final challenge tested them. One evening, a social worker arrived, tipped off by a nosy neighbor, questioning Emma's fitness as a mother. "You've been transient, Ms. Harper. We need to ensure the child's safety." Panic seized Emma. Losing Lily was her worst fear. Jacob stepped forward, voice steady. "She's not alone anymore. This is her home. We're a family." He hired a lawyer, fought the case, and after weeks of tension, the social worker relented, convinced by their bond and stability. One spring evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold, Jacob led Emma to the garden. Lily babbled in her arms, chubby hands reaching for flowers. Jacob knelt, a simple ring carved from oak in his hand. "Emma, I asked you once, and I'll ask again. Will you stay and marry me? Not just to save you, but because I love you, both of you." Tears streamed down Emma's face, fear and doubt melting into hope. "Yes," she whispered, her heart full. They married in that garden, surrounded by neighbors who'd come to see their strength. Their loved years later, Jacob, Emma, and Lily, now joined by a little brother, stood in that same garden, a family forged from brokenness. Emma looked at Jacob, her rock, and he at her, his purpose. Their story, born from a desperate night behind a fence, became a testament to resilience, trust, and the power of second chances. To anyone watching, their message was clear: love can bloom in the darkest places, and home isn't just a place, it's the people who choose to fight for you, and you for them.